Okay, we're 56b, towards the end of Sukkah. We're on the column, the right column. The last thing we said yesterday was a very tragic story of a young lady named Miriam, the daughter of the family of Bilga, from the Kohanim family, where she went ahead and she married a big shot from the Greeks, a person who held an officer of one of the Greek kings. Morning, Simon. So we're still using the Sukkah for now. And she married one of these officers. And what happened was, it says she left the Jewish religion. She married this officer from the Greeks. And when the Greeks entered into the Heichal, when they, during the time period of Hanukkah, before the miracle of Hanukkah, as you know, it says, the Yevonim, Timur Kol Hashmanim, they went into the Heichal, they defiled the Beit HaMikdash, and she kicked with her sandal on top of the Mizbeach, and she said, Lucas, Lucas, and for how long are you going to eat up the money of the Jewish people? Now, she referred to the way we said yesterday. She said, Lucas, a wolf eats up the sheep. And she said that, so to speak, the Mizbeach, the altar, where we bring the daily korbanot, and the daily korbanot have contained in it a sheep. So you bring the korban of sheep in the morning and in the afternoon, and therefore she's saying, it's like a wolf. It's being consumed. The animal's being consumed, and it's being ripped apart, and it's not serving a purpose, because she sees that she says, and the Jewish people are not being helped in their difficult time. That's what she said. Now, the commentaries point out, why did she refer to the? Now we said the Marsha. We said the idea, because a wolf rips apart a sheep, a lamb, and therefore she mentions the wolf because of that aspect of the offerings of the korbanot were being consumed on the altar. But some emphasize the use of the word wolf is because we know the Beit HaMikdash is in the portion of Binyamin. There's 12 tribes, and the land was divided in a certain fashion, and the area that the Beit HaMikdash, the Binyamin Amah, Yedir Hashem, Chofav Lev Kol Hayom, Ben Tefav Shachain, that the Beit HaMikdash is in the portion of Binyamin. And that's why, famously, when Yosef meets Binyamin, and they cry on each other's shoulders, it says, Vayipol al Tzavarov, that Yosef cried on the shoulders, in the plural, of Binyamin, because it's referring to the Beit HaMikdash, the Beit HaMikdash, he was crying for the Beit HaMikdash, the two Batei Mikdashot, the two Beit HaMikdash that was going to be destroyed, which was going to be in the Chelek of Binyamin, the portion of Binyamin. And there's a very famous question, why is it that at the point that Yosef is reunited with his brother Binyamin after 22 years, why is he crying at that point? He sees the destruction. He sees the future. He has a vision that there'll be the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. And I think one of the answers is that the issue with Yosef and his brothers, the lack of harmony between each other, that led to this separation of 22 years. Yosef sees this is going to be in the future as well. It's just maybe the books, Sefarim, I don't want to call them books, the holy books falling down. Um, yeah, they're talking about the Churban. How do you like that? Talking about destruction, and they fall down a little bit. Okay, at least they're in on the shelf, not on the floor. And the idea of at that point, when they see such a thing happen, that this destruction of the destruction, there's this lack of Avat Yisrael for all those 22 years. So at that moment, they see that it's going to repeat itself. There's going to be a Beit HaMikdash. That's going to be destroyed in the portion of Binyamin, and that's going to be also because of the lack of unity, like we're suffering today. The second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. And one of the main reasons why it went down was because there was sinat chinam. There was lack of unity among the Jewish people. There was a lot of negativity, a lot of lashon hara, a lot of negative talk. Right, Simon, and that's what causes destruction. And today, part of the things that we're suffering is the negativity, the machloket, families not getting along together, people not getting along. See, there is a lot of great things going on in the community, in a lot of ways, things are very good in the community. But this area of machloket, people not getting along with each other, people not saying the right things about each other, needs a lot of chizuk. Needs a lot of increase. So therefore, that's why specifically at this time, when Yosef is reunited with Binyamin, he cries on the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash that will happen al Tzavarav, on which the shoulders, which represents the Binyamin is the Binyamin Amar Ben Ketefav Shachain. The Beit HaMikdash is in the portion of Binyamin. So too, when Binyamin is given the bracha by Yaakov calls it Binyamin Ze'ev Yitrof. The Binyamin will be like a wolf. And let's look at the Chumash detail about this bracha. The Yaakov obviously gave this bracha in a very positive way. Just like Yehuda was compared to a lion, right? And in a very positive way, we find even in in Bilham refers to the Jewish people. They're like a lion. How they get up in the morning to come to learn the Holy Torah. Get up in the morning to say the Kriyat Shema. They overpower the challenges of getting up, and that's what um, they're compared to a lion. And so let's see what he says over here about here it says about Yehuda. Gur Aryeh Yehuda, obviously, that the idea of a lion being a leader, being the strongest. Yehuda is the one that's going to be the kingship, right? He compared to a lion, and going and regarding Binyamin, he said like this: Binyamin. Here we have Zulan. We have Succah. Done. We're getting close to Binyamin. Seems to be from the later brachot that he gives. See, we got Yosef. Yosef gets one of the big. Right after Yosef comes the bracha Binyamin. And Binyamin, he opens up Yaakov. Binyamin Ze'ev Yitrof. And the Ze'ev Yitrof, he says that Shaul will go ahead. It's a prophecy regarding Shaul that he will be successful, he will be victorious against his enemies, and that's it compares it to a wolf being successful on against the other animals, right? So that's a little bit about. So now that's why she refers to the Beit Hamikdash. She says Lucas. She refers to them as as a wolf. That the Beit HaMikdash, being it's in the territory of Binyamin, she calls it a fox. Fox, fox. How much are you going to consume the money of the Jewish people? And the fact that she said that the word Lucas, Lucas twice. Why did she say the word Lucas, Lucas twice? So some want to say it's alluding to the two mizbachot, the two altars that were in the first Beit HaMikdash and the second Beit HaMikdash. Here she is standing at the second Beit HaMikdash, and she's calling out to say, Lucas, Lucas, you know, in the first Beit HaMikdash you consumed the sheep, the korbanot, the second Beit HaMikdash, and that's what she did. Okay, now it's a beautiful idea from the Ben Yehoyada. The Mizbeach. Why is the Mizbeach called Mizbeach? You know, the word mazon is to nourish, right? We say Baruch Atah Sha'ala Oretz V'ala Mazon, and the Mizbeach is because it's mezin. It gives nourishment, because in the merit of the offerings that we bring on the Mizbeach, the world remains. The world is nourished. There's blessing for the world. Because the korbanot come from food, because where do you bring on the altar? You bring food. You bring either animals, or you bring flour, or you bring oil, I bring wine, and as a result of that, it causes blessing for the world. So that's why it's called a mizbeach. Now, so really, what did she say? She said she's looking at the offering at the Lucas, that the altar is eating up the money of the Jewish people. It just and for no purpose. But she doesn't realize that it was these korbanot, it was these offerings that were brought in the Beit HaMikdash that sustained the world. It wasn't that it was for no reason. How do you think the world had the blessing? Mizbeach from Mezin. It brought blessing to the world.
Repeat that you're referring also for the wolf after the Qurban, that they were roaming the Beit HaMikdash. They said that they were, because it's all deserted, there were wolves roaming the.
Very good. So Simon is talking about, because there was the wolves after the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. There was wolves walking in that area. But that was at the next after they destroyed the Beit HaMikdash. It was empty. But so now it's interesting why the wolf. That's interesting. There's the question why the wolf. Why was it that after the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, there was shu'alim hochobo. There was these wolves, and there's a beautiful idea. Why was the wolf walking there? Out of all the animals, why a wolf? A wolf is called the most clever of the animals, so to speak. It's the animal that knows how to trick the other animals in order to catch its food, and it's symbolic of the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, knows how to trick the people to do sin. So maybe that was why Hashem sent the wolf to walk, to that after the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, Rabbi Akiva and other rabbis see wolves walking in that holy place, the place that was the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the place that was the holiest of holiest, now has wolves walking in there. And why a wolf? Because there the idea, one of the commentaries say, is symbolic of the trickery of how you gave into the evil inclination. He tricked you to think it's a mitzvah to hate your fellow Jew, right? You know how many people think it's on principle. It's a mitzvah for me to hate my fellow Jew. It's a mitzvah for me to fight. I'm doing the right thing, right? You ever hear of those people, Simon? That they think it's a mitzvah to split up the family. They want to be right. They don't want to be smart. They don't want to do the right thing. They're not looking for shalom. But really, it's part of the cleverness of the evil inclination many of those times to trick them and they think they're doing a mitzvah. Just like today's day and age, you see when society, they think they're doing mitzvot by promoting certain liberal ideas, and really they're doing sin. But they think they're doing a mitzvah. They think they're doing a mitzvah by legalizing abortion. They think they're doing a mitzvah. They think they're helping the woman, but they're killing the child, killing the fetus. And they think they're doing it. They think they're being compassionate. They're fooled. They're being fooled. Now they even want to kill the fetus at later stages, right? The baby could be who knows how long into the pregnancy. The certain states want to allow, and they think they're being merciful. Okay, so the Gemara continues. So that is the first reason why the the rabbis penalized the guard, the mishmar, the group. We said there was 24 different groups, and every group had its week when it worked. 24 different groups of kohanim. By the way, Ralph, there was 24 groups of Levium also. They also divided Levium in 24 groups. But regarding these kohanim, they were number 15. The 15th listing of families was the Bilga family. And they, because of the act of something that went wrong within the family got punished. So one opinion is, what went wrong? It was this girl. It was this girl, this one girl, and the Gemara is going to talk about why should the whole family be punished. This one girl went sour. And therefore the rabbis, and how did the rabbis penalize them? They said that their ring that they had in the courtyard, where they would go ahead and put the animal's head in the ring and close the ring, they did not allow them to have their ring was permanently closed. They could not use their ring. They had to use someone else's ring. Also, we said that they divided the lechem hapanim. When they got the lechem hapanim, they got theirs in the south instead of the north. And also they said that the window that they had at an area for them to store their knives, their area was closed. They had no storage space for their knives. They had to use someone else's storage space. There was all a penalty for this. Now, so according to one opinion, was because of this girl from that family, what she did, that she married this Greek big shot. And also, not only that she married the big shot, is when she did this terrible act, when she entered into the Heichal, right? Because now the Gemara continues. The Gemara says, or just maybe we'll just go back a few lines just to do the whole what we just said. Tana Rabbanan. It's on the bottom of 56b2. Tana Rabbanan. Ma'isa Miriam bat Bilga shemira data, that she went off the religious path. She went and married a nobleman from one of the officers from the Greek kings. And when the Greeks entered the Beit HaMikdash during the time of the second Beit HaMikdash, what did she do? She went with them. She was kicking kicking with a sandal on top of the altar, the holy altar. And she said, Lucas, Lucas, wolf, wolf. Until when are you going to be consuming the money of the Jewish people? They're bringing to you korbanot, you're consuming them, and you don't help them. You're not helping the Jewish people. Look, the Greeks have taken over. When the rabbis heard about this, kava et tabata, they closed her ring. Good morning, Charles. And they closed her ring that they should have her ring to go ahead and use to put the animal's head in that ring. And they also closed the window where she stored her knives. They stored their knives. Now the commentaries ask that the fine was because she kicked the mizbeach, and not because she went off the religion. But isn't it the fact that she went off to the religion, isn't that worse? So why was it that the rabbis penalized because of the fact that she kicked him his altar? Isn't it much worse that she gave up religion? Should that be a reason? But really, giving up the religion, I would say, would not be a reason why to penalize in the area of the Beit HaMikdash. Meaning, if she gave up her religion, maybe they could figure out how to penalize in some other area. But specifically to penalize the area of the Beit Hamikdash, where the family did service, so that's because she acted with disgrace in the Beit Hamikdash. So maybe therefore they punished things related to the Beit Hamikdash, the way that the way they divided the bread, where they put the ring or the window. Maybe that's why. Good morning. Even though the act of leaving the religion was worse than stepping on the altar. Okay, that's an idea I want to suggest. Now they want to say there's an opinion that says that we see from here that desecrating kachim, going ahead and being very disgraceful to holy things might even be worse than leaving the religion. But I just want to, this is one of the issues that they bring up. So the V'yesh Omrim, we're learning about Bilga, about Miriam Bat Bilga, we're learning about this woman who went ahead and did something very wrong. I mean, and because she did something very wrong, we just said one opinion is what she did very wrong is that she went ahead and she went off to derech. She married a discreet guy. She stepped on the altar, very disgraceful. The some say it wasn't because of Miriam that they punished the group of Kohanim. The what was the reason why? Mishmato shoel lavo. That, as you know, every week a new group of Kohanim entered the Beit HaMikdash. They worked 1 week at a time. And this Mishmah of Bilga was delayed. They didn't come on time. They were supposed to come and have a change of guard and come, but they were late. And what happened as a result that they were late, so the other Mishmar that was on duty that week had to stay overtime because they couldn't leave until the next group of Kohanim came. The Mishmar delayed from coming, and as a result of that, the Nichnas Yeshevav Achiv, the family Yeshevav who was working on that Shabbat did not. They remained working. V'shimesh tachtav, and served instead of them, and because they were late. So Rashi says a very interesting line, which is a very, very big line, lesson in life. It shows that the service of the Beit HaMikdash is not cherished by them. Because if the service of the Beit HaMikdash is cherished by them, how would you come late? Right? When you know what? Has anybody ever come late to the ball game? I mean, sometimes people do come late to the ball game. But something that you love, your team that you love or whatever it is, somehow you're coming on time. You know, there's some people that will never come late to work. Because they have late to work. I love my job. How can I come late to work? So something that you love, you don't come late to. And here it was clear. It wasn't that there was an accident on the highway that they came late to their job in the Beit HaMikdash. They were able to come on time, but you know what? It wasn't important to them to come on time. And because they weren't important to them to come on time, so therefore it shows that it's not chaviva alehem. It shows that it's not cherished by them, the service in the Beit HaMikdash. And because of that, the rabbis gave a fine. and penalize them because you have to have a love for your service. You have to serve with love in the Beit HaMikdash. And, it says, Ehovet Malacha, even when you're not working in Torah, you're working in regular job, it says you're supposed to enjoy your job. You should have an appreciation for the job. You'll be diligent on the job. You'll give it all you got. You'll be an honest worker, like it says by Yaakov Avinu. He says, "Avadi v'chol I work with all my strength." So but certainly you have to love your service of Hashem. And if you're late, it indicates a lack of appreciation. Now, and then the Gemara says, Afal Pi. Rashi says, and it's also interesting, the Moshe Feinstein points out, the fine was, according to Rashi, wasn't because they were late. You were late. Sometimes, a guy comes late to work. I'm penalizing you because you're late. I'm taking off from your salary because you didn't work. You're late. You didn't put in the time that you need to work. Here, it's not because you're late. It's because what the lateness indicated. It shows that you don't have a love for your job. It's a disgrace of your appreciation for the holiness of of your job, and that's why there's the penalty. And that's why
Just once, habitually late, I can understand that.
right, that's a good point, but it could be that here we're talking about there's a whole family of Kohanim that were, maybe everybody was late, or it somehow maybe listen, remember, let's understand something. They were on 1 week every 24 weeks, Ralph. It's not like you're working there every day. This is your first day, report to duty. You haven't been here in 6 months, right? It happens almost once every 6 months. You have a job to come. You should be excited, right? It's your first day. It's like your first day in the job. Who comes late the first day on their job? You have no appreciation for your job, right? You're looking forward. You'd be early. And the Gemara makes an interesting observation. The Gemara said, "V'afal pi sheshcheinei harishayim lo nistakru." Even though generally, when you're a relative, when you're a neighbor of wicked people, you don't gain. On the contrary, you lose by being a relative of a wicked person, because the wicked person many times brings you down. Their lifestyle, they'll encourage you to do sin, just like we had the famous story with Korach, and he was able to persuade the people from the tribe of Ruvain to be with him because they were his neighbors, and therefore, Ola Rasha, woe to the wicked and woe to his neighbors. Be careful not to have bad neighbors. When you move to a town, you move to a place, you have to know who your neighbors are, who the people are that you're surrounding yourself with. But here, the Shchenei Bilga Nistakru, the neighbors of Bilga, they gained on the deal. What did they gain over here? Because they remained in service. That's how the Chasdei David says. They took over, they pitched in, they covered for Bilga's Mishmar, because Bilga's Mishmar was late, and they covered for them. They remained working. They gained, even though they were neighbors of the wicked, because Bilga, Lo'olam, Choleket, the Darom. Because Bilga, they will always divide, they will always get their lechem upon him in the south, but Yeshevav, Achiv, Yeshevav, their brother, but Safon. Yeshevav, their brother, was in the north. Yeshevav will always get it in the north, meaning we said, when you enter to do your service in the Beit HaMikdash, the famous Kohanim enter, the day they enter on Shabbat in the afternoon, everybody would divide the bread in the north, and when they would leave a week later, in general, they would divide in the south. It's a sign that you're leaving your service. And we said serving. One idea is servicing is greater than when you're going to do the mitzvah, is greater than when you already finished the mitzvah. When you're about to do, you're about to perform, is greater than when it's over. So therefore, when they're coming to perform the mitzvah, when they're coming to service, we give them the in the north, which we said is the higher place, the greater place. That's where you slaughter the Kodesh Kodashim. The holy Karbanot offerings were slaughtered in the north. But when they leave, you give it to them in the south. The sign that they're leaving, and we also said from the Meiri, by the fact they're going to get in the south, it will remind them that their service is over and they should not, step on the other family, the new family that now it's time for their time to work, and now it's over for you guys. But the family of Yeshevav, because they covered for Bilga's family and they continued working, there shouldn't be a lapse of Kohanim working the Beit HaMikdash. They were rewarded that even when they would leave after the week, they would always get the Lechem Apanim in the north. So what will happen is the week they left was the week that the Bilga family came in, and the Shevav family would get it in the north again, like the previous week when they entered. And even though that Shabbat, the Bilga family entered, the Bilga family, when they entered, will not get like the other family when they entered in the north. The Bilga family would get in the south, both the week they came in and both the Shabbat that they left. So the Gemara says, Bishlama, the Gemara says, Laman diyama mishmarto shoelavo. According to the opinion that says that the mishmarto, that the family, meaning there was two reasons given, two possible reasons why there was a fine, they penalized the family of Bilga, right? The Mishnah states Bilga was penalized. That family was penalized. But the Mishnah did not say what the reason why they were penalized. The Mishnah didn't say. The Braita offers two opinions. One opinion says they were penalized because of the girl Miriam, and one says they were penalized because of not the girl Miriam, because the whole group, the whole family was late. To that, the Gemara asked the question, according to the opinion that says that the family was late to come, that's why we go ahead and we punish the whole family, because the whole family came late, so the whole family gets punished, right? And therefore, but however, Elamandi Ama Miriam bat Bilga Shehemira, that because it was Miriam, the daughter of Bilga, who went ahead and left the Jewish religion, and she acted in that fashion. It's interesting here. The Gemara emphasizes Miriam bat Bilga Shehemira data, which this language of the Gemara is emphasizing that she left the religion, not emphasizing the point. Remember, we asked before that it sounds like from the Gemara that the reason why they find the group was because of how she acted by the Mikdash, and here the Gemara emphasizes the fact that she left the religion, but it could be she left the religion and what she did with that, how she acted. So mishum brate kansina le'alidei. Why should we punish her father and the whole mishmar because of her bad action? She's one individual, so she's not a kohen, and we're going to punish her father, and also we're going to punish the whole group of kohanim. Why should everybody be punished because of what she did? So that's what the Gemara says. Beautiful, what Rav says. The Gemara says, the way the words of a child, they take after what they heard from their parents at home. Ama in the Amri in she, like people say, shutad yunuka b'shuka. The words of a child in the in the market, when you hear them talking, you should know Odavua Odime. You know where she got it from? Either she got it from a father or she got it from a mother. And because of that, we find her father because of that. Now, you should know if you talk to kindergarten teachers will tell you that they get to hear some crazy things. Where did the child get that from? And
One of these kid chat show and tell. I think I'm right. He told the class that I worked in the Bronx prison.
see that? What they hear in the house comes out in the classroom. If you really want to know what kind of parents the child has, listen, talk to the kindergarten teacher. They'll be able to tell you what kind of words, how clean the mouth is. Where do you pick up the words? Okay, we're gonna leave the last piece for the siyum, and tomorrow we'll start the fourth parak of Rosh Hashanah. Take. Very good. Yeah, you could take this pamphlet with you. Got one? Very good.